What makes a detailer or a business person successful? What differentiates the ones who are able to stick it out through that first winter into their next spring and the ones who give up when the weather gets cold? I have been thinking a lot about people I know who have started businesses. Every spring, right about this time, March, April, May, there are a ton of new detailers out there advertising on the Instagram. You see them everywhere, right? You're like, we are professional mobile detailers. And then you visit their page and they have like 3 posts and they're just starting their business. And kudos to them. That's awesome. That's kind of what everyone wants to be doing, right? Is being a detailer. It's glamorized a lot online, and the internet makes you think that detailing is just easy and you're making tons of money. In my case, it is pretty easy and I do make tons of money, but it's not always like that, and nor was it like that the first 3 years of business. I think it's a couple of things. Like number one is vision. For those who I know who are super successful, like the ones who are able to do this 5-10 years, they have a vision of exactly where they want to be. And that could be a number vision of how much money they want to make. That could be a growth vision of how many employees, how many vans, how big a shop they want to do. Or that could just be something that, in my case, I just wanted to grow something for myself because I'd always been a loser. And I would assume a lot of the people around me wouldn't call me a loser, but I definitely thought I was a loser for a long time. And so I wanted to prove to myself that I could do something hard because I had quit every job I ever had. I've had dozens of jobs, and the longest I ever stayed was like maybe a month and a half before I got bored and I quit. And over time, it starts weighing on you. Like, I am just a quitter. It's kind of what you start saying to yourself. And so for me, I wanted to grow something and just stick with something for the sake of doing it and doing something hard and being successful at it and proving the demons wrong that I can be successful and I can do something hard. So you really have to find your why. Those who succeed and those who make it through that harsh winter when it's 10 degrees outside and you're in someone's driveway steam cleaning their interior because otherwise you're not going to eat. You know, you have to have a strong why at that point or you're not going to make it. If you go into business and you think you're just going to start the business, make tons of money, eventually get someone to detail for you so it's all passive, man, you're not going to make it. It is so much harder than you think. It's not rainbows and butterflies, bro. It's just not. So having grit would be one of the big things that separates those who just want to clean cars because it's cool and those who want to start something and grow something that is sustainable, long-term, low debt, that kind of thing. You with me? So number 2, I would say, is customer service. All the people that I know who have successful businesses are obsessed with people pleasing, making sure everyone around them is extremely happy. I have a huge problem with people pleasing. I have given away tens of thousands of dollars just last year in free work just because I want to make my customers happy. And a lot of people have called me out on that. Why are you short selling yourself? Why would you give away $30,000, $40,000 worth of work when you didn't have to? Why don't you upcharge on certain things? And at the end of the day, yeah, I could upcharge on specific things. If it's just a little dirtier, I could upcharge this and upsell this. But at the end of the day, I am obsessed with making sure every one of my customers feels really high value in the work that I'm providing. Because if they feel like they're getting a killer deal, then they are going to tell their friends and they are going to come back. And that is what separates someone who makes it from someone who doesn't. I have spent in the last 3 years about $150 in advertising total. I have done thousands of cars, and almost all of them are from organic SEO on my website. Instagram, just posting my normal day-to-day. It's more of a journal for me than it is an advertising method. And my biggest one is customer referrals. I can't even tell you how many times a week I get a call from somebody, hey, I was referred to you by Jane or by Sarah or by whoever for your car detailing services. They say you're awesome. What do you charge? And can I get scheduled? Right? You have those customer referrals. You don't even need to work for leads. And I don't. And that's probably my biggest flaw is every time I feel like I have to pay for ads, it kind of makes me a little upset. But I have to remember all my competitors are paying hundreds or thousands of dollars a month in ads. And I'm keeping up with them, at least most of the time. I'll be honest. So that's number 2. Having good customer service, you're going to spend a lot less money on ads. You're going to have a much more loyal customer base, and you're going to actually feel good about the work you do. You're not going to have to justify yourself in every turn. And I'm not saying do every job for free. I'm doing $300 details and, in 4 hours. Like, it's not free work, but it is amazing value because of the skills I've learned and because of the service I provide and all of the little things that add up to a great customer experience. So, and then number 3, it kind of goes along with that, but don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. This day and age, you're bombarded on Instagram with like, I made $1,500 today detailing cars, right? And you see people like, I charge $650 for this mini interior detail, right? Whatever it is. And sometimes you think to yourself like, man, that would be nice. But me, when I look at those videos, I just think, where is the value that they're providing? Right? The value that they're providing is not in a $600 detail that takes them an hour and a half. It is just because you can convince somebody to pay for your service does not mean that you're providing good value. Right? Just because you can convince someone to pay for your service doesn't mean they're going to be really happy with the results, even if they pay you. And doesn't mean they're going to be coming back. And you have to decide whether you want your business model to be on recurring or if you want to spend all of your time chasing new leads. Because you can do both, right? You can spend all of your time and extra money chasing down new leads, and you can have a thriving business off of one-time customers, really high prices, doing lower volume, and you can make just as much money as someone who has lower prices, higher volume, and a lot of recurring revenue. So it's really up to you kind of deciding what side of that system do you want to be on. But being greedy is where you lose a lot of people. People can see right through that. They know exactly what's going on, man. Like, you don't have to. They know. A $400 detail in 2 hours, they know, right? At the end of the day, we're washing cars. We're cleaning cars. $200 an hour, like making doctor's salary. Like, you can do it. You can do it if you're smart, especially if you have employees. That helps a lot. But people see it. They really do. So don't be greedy. Make sure to give a lot. Like I said, I've given away tens of thousands of dollars in free work, but I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars in recurring revenue without ad spend. So my business thrives on its own. And a lot of people's businesses don't. If they stop the ads, they stop the flow, right? Whereas here, even when I raise my prices to where a little bit above, I would say market, or right about market for the value I provide, I still know that I'm providing incredible value, even though they're paying a little bit more. But don't be greedy. That's number 3. Anyways, and then number 4, I think, is the hardest thing ever, because in this day and age when people can't sit through, 9 minutes and 53 seconds, a 9-minute video on YouTube, and if you made it this far, congratulations, you are one of the very few who are willing to sit through something like this. And that's patience, right? Patience. Being able to postpone your gratification, being able to wait for something that you want, in exchange for something that you really, really want? Are you able to save the money you make from detailing to build your business later on? Are you willing to work for free thousands of hours in order to grow something that is sustainable? My first year, I did full time. I think I made $15,000 in the entire year, and I was working my butt off. I was doing so many free jobs. I was doing so much advertising by like knocking doors and handing out flyers, and just doing tons of work on social media, that having the patience to go through hell in order to grow something sustainable. I always tell my I always tell my customers and my brother who works with me, I'm kind of like the tortoise in the story, the tortoise and the hare. And I really feel like I'm the tortoise. I'm a very slow mover. I don't want to take out a ton of debt. I don't really move quickly into things. And what happens is I probably, if I were to start over, I'm 4 years into my journey, I could probably be where I'm at in under 2 years with the skills I know now. But I'm so slow in moving that it takes me forever to do things. But we all know at the end of the story, who wins, right? Who's going to be here in 10 years? The kid who gets in $30,000 in debt, builds out a massive van, and goes in it with expectations that aren't met by reality, or the ones who are able to do it organically and slow and build a customer base that is solid and loyal, who's willing to pay your prices and come back every time. And so my slowest weeks, I'm able to survive, right? We're able to thrive. We're able to grow even on the slowest weeks. And that's partially due because I'm a patient mover. I don't need to do everything super, super fast. So I think those 4 things, let me read them out, I guess. Having grit, having good customer service, not being greedy, and being patient. If you have those 4 things, you're going to be doing great. I'm going to leave you on this thought, okay? There is a part of our brain dedicated to learning new skills. And I'm not a brain scientist, but I'm just going to call this the front brain and the back brain. The front brain is what uses all of the CPU of your brain power. And every time you learn a new skill, it is right there in the front of your brain. For me, that new skill is podcasting. This is so incredibly overwhelming for me, getting set up, getting sound, getting everything. I'm such a perfectionist that I just feel like I'm overwhelmed by this, right? All of it is sitting in my front brain. Over time, as you develop habits, those habits basically pull all the information from the front brain to the back brain. And what that allows you to do is it becomes second nature. For detailing, for me, I've detailed thousands of cars by now. When I'm detailing a car, I am not thinking at all about the car. I am so lost in my thoughts or in my audiobook or in my music or whatever I'm doing that the entire 3 or 4 hour block in detailing a car goes by in just a couple of minutes. Because I don't have to really think about it in the front of my brain, it is so ingrained as a habit that it's just part of me, second nature. And in detailing, there's always a lot of problem solving. But once you do enough vehicles and you run into enough problems and you're able to solve them, even high-end problem solving skills when it comes to detailing is such a habit, you don't even have to think about it. And I'm hoping after 100 videos with the podcast that's going to be the same thing for me. That recording this stuff is going to turn into a habit, second nature, and talking to a camera, which feels really awkward, is going to feel second nature to where I don't really have to think about it. And then my brain can start, it solves for creativity instead of being overwhelmed by what's in front of you. And the same thing happens with detailing. So once you're able to get the basics down, learn how to clean a car, learn how to do all that, the basics, right? That is when you're able to kind of get the understanding of how your business works on a deeper level, and you'll be able to make business decisions that help you grow. So thanks for tuning in with us today. If there's any topic you want to talk about, let's do it.